Hello guys, let's solve this problem. We have an imaginary number this long and it is constructed this way. I get 100, then I increase 100 by 1, I get 101, and I put it beside 100, then I have 102 and put it beside 101, and I continue thus until 999. So I have this big number, and then some curious guy wants to find out what is the digit, what is the 5th digit of that number, what is the 10th digit of that number, and what is the 18th digit of that number. Of course, these are examples. These numbers can change. So the first number that we are going to read from the keyboard is how many places of the digits we must find. So if it is 3, then we have here 3 numbers. If it was 5, we would have 5 numbers. And then we must print out the positions of these. We must print out the digits at these positions. So let's explain it this way. So we have this big number, and we have 3 positions to check: position 5, position 10, and position 18. And at the 5th digit is 0, the 10th digit is 1, and the 18th digit is 5. So we must print out 0, 1, and 5. So how could we solve it? As I told at the beginning, this big number is constructed this way. First we get 100, then we put 101, and so on until 999. So actually, imagine that I can divide these numbers by lines, and I must find the 5th, 10th, and 18th digits. So I colored them in different colors so that it would be easy to understand. Actually, the 5th digit is at number 101, the 10th digit is at number 103, and the 18th digit is at number 105. So when you divide 5 and 3, and since these are integers, the division result of 5 divided by 3 will be 1, because 5 is integer. It's not float, it's not double. So if I add this to 100, I get 101. So my 5th digit is at this number. And my 10th digit is... So why do I divide it by 3? Because the numbers are 3-digit numbers. That's why I divide them by 3. Because after each 3 digits, I have a new number. That's why I divide it by 3. So 100 plus 10 divided by 3. So 10 divided by 3 will give me 3. So I will have 103, and indeed the 10th digit is at number 103. And when I divide 18 by 3, and the result of 18 divided by 3 is 6, and 100 plus 6 will give me 106, but number 18th digit is not in this number. Actually, it is in this number. So I see that when the numbers are not divisible by 3, I have no problem. But when the number is divisible by 3, actually I have to move to the left. So if the number is divisible by 3, and I find this 106 using the same logic, what I have to do is I just minus 1. I just subtract 1 from this number to move to the left. So now I got 105. And when I have all these numbers correctly, you see that when the number modulus 3, and again why 3, because I have 3 digits, is 2, so 5 modulus 3 is 2, because when you divide 5 by 3, the remainder is 2. I have to print the 10th digit of a number. And if the number modulus 3 is 1, then I must display the hundreds. Sutelor. And when the number itself, this number, modulus 3 is equal to 0, so when it is divisible by 3, I display the ones unitatillor. That's it. But how do I find the tenth, the hundredths, and ones? Imagine that we have a number 467, which is integer. So if you want to find the hundredth, like this number, this digit, sutelor in Romanian, you just divide it by 100, because 967 divided by 100 will give you 4. Again, since this integer, I will not have these decimal places. And if you want to find the 10th digit of the number, if I divide number by 10, and again I use modulus 10, so number divided by 10, so this number divided by 10 will give me 46, and 46 modulus 10 will give me 6, because when you 6 by 10, the remainder is 6, and it gives me this digit. To find the ones or unitatillor, you have to number modulus 10. So when you divide 967 by 10, the remainder is 7. So let's write our code. So again, I will come to this part, and so first I have to read this number. So let's declare a variable n, and I read variable n from the keyboard to return 0. And then n times, so this is 3 times I read numbers, so I don't know what n will come. It can be 5, 10, or 100. That's why I will create a loop that will run n times. So for int I is equal to 1, while I is smaller or equal to n, I plus plus. That's how we create a loop that will run n times. So every time in the loop, I read a new number. And let's declare a variable, and every time in the loop I will read variable a. So every time the value of a will change. So in the first run a will be 5, in the next run a will be 10, and in the last run a will be 18. Number where my digit is, so I have to use 100 plus a divided by 3. So let's create a variable my number, and my number will be 100 plus a divided by 3. Then, as you remember, if a is divisible by 3, I must subtract 1. So if a modulus 3 is equal to 0, like 18 is divisible by 3, so in that case, subtract 1 from my number. So if I say my number minus minus, I will decrease its value by 1. Then, when every time I have my number, I have to print out the digit at that position. So if a modulus 3 is 0, I display ones. So if a modulus 3 is equal to 0, I must display ones. So how do I display ones? My number modulus 10. And if a is divisible, if a modulus 3 is equal to 1, then I will display hundreds. Here you can see how I display hundreds. I just divide the number by 1. So if a modulus 3 is equal to 1, I will display my number divided. If a modulus 3 is equal to 2, print out the tens, the decimal. So it will be my number divided by 10 modulus 10. Let's run the program. So I have three numbers. They are 5, 10, and 18. And it is 0, 1, and 5 to space after each digit. Let's run again. Let's say that I have 6 positions to check, and they are, I wonder what is at position 1, at position 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And just give me these digits. Let's press enter, and it works perfect. That's it.